expect an Ahri ban against him. However, we'll have to see where he goes. A very strong assassin player.
Yeah, and taking a look at the bans, we can see Shen, Rengar, and Kog'Maw again banned away from Aimee. OMG going for a similar route. This time, though, they are respecting the Fizz, so finally taking a page out of your book, Rusty, in removing that right away, but that means that Karma looks to be the priority for Aimee.
I'm an honest man. I see broken, I ban it. I just wonder why people don't. Thankfully, they do. As the Karma, I would say an expected lock-in once again for Aimee. The ability to flex the pick is fantastic. One big thing that changes here, Thresh still not banned. OMG banned it in their 4th ban in the 2nd ban phase. But this still gives that window of opportunity for Aimee. However, with the Karma locked in, the flex is a little bit too potent, I suppose, for the early stages of this laning phase. They need their AD carry and jungler.
Yeah, and now we see World 6 finally putting Ben 4 on something different, as he's the one who picks Elise in the jungle. Smlz is going to take Ashe away from Jinjao, so we get to see Aimee show us something new from Ben 4. And looks like he might look for this Lee Sin in this game. We've seen World 6 on it the past few times, in game number 1 and game number 2, and it is locked in.
Interesting pick. We have seen it a few times, as you mentioned, but most of the time the Elise has been the winner. The Lee Sins haven't looked that great, but Ben 4, there's one thing he's known for, and it's going to be the Elise Sin kicks.
Yeah, the highlight hunter himself. Perhaps he will rear his head today. And question is, will it be the good highlights or the bad highlights? Which reel is he adding to? The one he wants to show everyone and the one that he wants no one to know about?
Yeah, exactly right. But with the Lee Sin, the playmaking is going to be there. However, he's against a pick composition. This is one of those support choices that has been slept on throughout this series. Just a little bit banned here and there. But with Lulu still available, there's always going to be a counter option for it. But if you're Road, do you really play Lulu? Do you want to be Lulu? It's not a road champion.
Yeah, I mean, we still have the ban phase for OMG. They could just look to ban that champion away on that next set. Cannon looks to be the follow-up for AmazingJ.
I wouldn't ban it, though, to be honest. It's just not road. If he picks it, then maybe he's out of his comfort zone. Yes, it's a good matchup. But you have to run through this pick ban phase assuming that he is going to be the Karma and that Athena is going to be playing something flexible.
There goes the LeBlanc ban away from Icon. Looking at the next one. Second round of bans from Aimee has almost exclusively been towards that mid lane. We did have LeBlanc Syndra, and then in the last one, Lucian Syndra. So no surprise to see them sticking towards that strategy here. OMG commit to banning away AmazingJ. Kled now taken off.
Kled ban makes a lot of sense. Aimee have looked really good playing it. Their ability to engage, find flanks even with the Kled, which is a unique strength of this team. It's just their flank play in general is always going to be outstanding, and AmazingJ never going to have his Nautilus ever again, it seems. He's really proven himself on the champion.
We'll see if that's going to be first picked for Xiyang, as Jace is now banned away from Icon. He's still got the chance to fall back on that Ahri. But
I'd almost say he needs to be something physical if they go towards the Gragas top lane. I mean, we've seen team compositions like this in the past with the Cassiopeia or something of the likes that still just do magic damage, but at the same time, if they go for the Gragas, I'm almost expecting a talent into something like a Talia from Athena.
We'll see what that's going to be. Perhaps they could be trying to protect it, as Renekton is picked prematurely blind into the top of AmazingJ.
But that's the physical damage as well, so Icon doesn't need to play an assassin in the middle lane so much anymore. He can be the Talia if he really wants. There's now options for Icon, and that's important, is that he has options of all players on this team.
So important for him. We saw how instrumental he was on that Ahri in the previous match. And now with the timer running out, looks like Gragas is picked up for AmazingJ up top. Rather nice into that Renekton, and another blind pick for Athena mid.
Yeah, he'll be fine top lane. You know, Renekton bullies the lane a little bit. There's going to be some kill threat if Elise is nearby, but he's a Gragas. He excels at sustain, and that is a misfortune. Not a bad choice. I mean, it's into Malzahar.
It is misfortune support locked in for the bottom lane. Great at breaking the nether shift from 5. And of course, you can follow it up with some big damage from Jinjao. Really sort of try to get a lot of harass in that combo. Icon, though, seeing that locked in.
Okay, still did it.
Will lock in Zed to deal with Athena's Karma. So Icon, the Hitman, showing up.
Then I wondered why, like, if he would. Firstly, Icon is a big Zed player, very much a prolific Zed player, but I think the choice of going for the Zed over the Ahri is curious above all else. Like, it's actually super intriguing that he would go for this. Maybe if they had the Gragas top lane and we needed physical damage, right, which is why I said that. But now he has a Renekton up there. They've also got the Ashe, so they don't need physical. He's now overloading their physical damage. But because they've got a Misfortune with the Varus, both very killable champions, it's super important that Athena is always present in these fights to either take him down or to prevent him from killing people.
So looking at that, that turns into a 1-3-1, right? Where you've got the three set up in the mid lane, Zed and Renekton on side lanes, then collapsing on mid to find anyone who's caught by an Ashe arrow or an Elise cocoon or Flash Nether Grasp from Malzahar.
Yeah, the 1-3-1's always going to be quite prevalent with any Zed team composition that comes together. They've got super good pick from OMG as well, the Ashe Elise, not just the Ashe arrows, and the Malzahar with the Flash ultimate. So the way I see this, right, is that I may have picked themselves into this really awkward combination. Like, Karma has to run teleport is the first big thing that you take away from this, knowing that he's against a Zed, which means when he knows there's a 1-3-1, if he goes exhaust to survive lane, he won't have teleport. If he goes teleport to survive the strategy, then he won't have exhaust for the laning phase, and he's at risk of dying, especially against an Elise and a Zed, where even cleanse sounds like a good idea. So it's really important, again, not that Athena is just helping his team, which when it comes to team fighting he'll have to do, but he survives.
Yeah, and hopefully he'll be able to do that. We'll see how he holds up against Icon. So far his laning phases has been suffering, even in Game 3 in which he got those kills on that Vladimir. He was down in CS. So it's time to find out. Once again, this is still set point. It's 2-1 right now in favor of IMA. But OMG, with that win picked up, finally have got some momentum under their wings. And perhaps this will be enough to get them over the hill that is IMA and towards the victory beyond to advance to the semifinals and play against WE.
The 2-game advantage for IMA was going to be super crucial, but OMG getting one back. Momentum always plays a big part in best of series, and knowing that you can crack the armor of your opponent, OMG being able to get the win, super significant.
You can hear the crowd chanting once again. Game number 4, huge number of fans, and we see a grand total of 3 different masteries: Fervor, Thunderlords, and Grasp of the Undying, exclusively on AmazingJ.
Yeah, no Warlord's Bloodlust to be seen from any AD carry. Even having only damage dealers as the supports of choice, no sustain to be seen. We'll have to see how that plays out in particular. You would imagine by having Fervor of Battle, you go towards a longsword 3-potion start, but Smlz's gone straight towards the Dorans, may have life still in his quints to compensate.
Yeah. Perhaps.
Which is usually the way to go if you're going to run Fervor now.
Yeah, he is taking that into Varus Misfortune. The whole combo is Make It Rain, then Piercing Arrow. So once you see Varus start charging, Misfortune walks up.
That's the old school combo, where the damage was going to be lethality based. Now that Varus goes on hit, the damage is actually significantly less. So even the smallest amount of sustain will help you out there in the laning phase.
Junglers both start topside. Ben4 goes for a 2-camp start, whereas World 6 looks like he's going for a buff to buff as he clears out red, dodges the vision from an early ward of IMA, and heads over towards his own blue. He's got a defensive ward on that blue just in case, because they did not see where Ben4 was starting. Very defensive early start from OMG, as even Smlz was sitting super far back. And now that we've gotten into the laning phase, we're starting to see why, as Road is making his way towards the blue buff to get vision on that.
Yeah, might be able to get a ward up, of course, just skirting around, perhaps pretending he's placing vision even, something that he may well want to do. You'd have to expect that until the Lee Sin shows up, it's risky to invade and place vision, but they also choose not to. Over that Spiderling obviously blowing up indicates something's amiss.
Yeah, thinks that the Elise is there.
He's
Ward placed by both of them in that brush, so they are able to spot each other out. Ben4 slightly faster, though, does get Scuttle priority, and World 6 turns towards Scrom for some bonus gold instead, while Ben4 will return towards his Raptor camp. So all in all, the lanes not interacting too much in this early endeavor. The World 6 has skirted around their vision.
He's dodged vision very well. 5 also now helping him out. And just in case there's a Elise in or someone nearby, getting a gank off as a level 2 Malzahar is non-existent. It's all about the silence. If you can get the silence off, then the cocoon's guaranteed to hit, or vice versa. But then they can't actually escape you at all.
Great
well done.
Scryer's bloom from Ben 4. Excellent presence of mind to know that this might be something that's happening. He goes to clear out the ward just placed by OMG. Keep that bottom lane safe. There is still a ward on his Krugs, but there's no real opportunity for World 6 to invade it anytime soon, as Athena playing against that Zed on that Karma. Very dangerous matchup if he finds himself behind.
And we saw before that he has got the Thunderlords as his Karma. I know a lot of Doinby Karmas and those now playing in the mid lane, even Easy here and there, will have a Deathfire touch when he plays it out, actually. And I like the Deathfire touch, a little bit more damage over time to go down, especially if you're poking people out in lane repeatedly. But Athena is a different kind of mid laner. He's also potentially dead.
He eats a cocoon to the face. First blood to the burst of OMG, and it's on Icon of all people.
And it is really that simple. Goes to place the ward, but World 6, honestly, only 1 second ahead of him, means a kill comes out immediately. Nothing that they can do to stop that from happening. No chance of survival. Has exhaust.
Doesn't even get to use it in time.
Didn't even use it, just dead.
Super early burst is so dangerous. You can see he's actually starting Ruby and the Sapphire Crystal for more sustain to keep himself safe in lane, but Icon, he's opened up a CS advantage. He's got that first blood. He's now got momentum in that lane.
World 6 also utilizing the kill and seeing Ben 4 to invade and take out a camp here and there. Not that I may are unaware of it. And really this just means that they're not playing around their winning lane. Misfortune Varus always pushing, always poking, pressuring out their opponents in Malzahar and Ashe. The bottom lane of OMG are level 6 2v2 opposed to what I may have, which is level 1. They basically win. They're still good at 6, but they'll always win lane that early.
Level 1 through 5 versus 6 and so on.
Yeah. It's kind of tragic that it panned out this way. We already mentioned the exhaust as well from Athena.
Yeah.
Icon was out of range to all of his bursts before he went to the shadow, so he was naturally going to get the kill, no exhaust available. It also means no teleport as we get to the 1-3-1 later stages against what is already a 1-kill Zed.
Yeah. Serrated Dirk and Boots, so he's even going for more kills, not even Hex Drinker. This is Icon, the Hitman, wanting to carry from the mid lane as Xiyang catches that minion wave. 5 brings Ben 4, World 6. I see the Elise, I just assume it's Ben 4. World 6 down there, just in case there were to be anything happening, but recall from Ben 4 instead. And everybody just sort of calms down a little bit. Icon is level 6, so Athena's playing very far back. Surprised he's not going for the Seekers first.
Yeah, he has the health crystal, which will help. Almost looks like he's going towards the Rod of Ages or a GLP type of build with what he has. And that's the makings of a catalyst.
And look at that, a single first blood under his name, and Icon starts spamming a laugh. Oh, this guy. His emotions got the better of him in game number 1 and game number 2, but now that he's got some air under his wings, he is definitely feeling better.
Yeah, don't get that laugh. Don't let that laugh get the better of you, however. Last time he did that, Road danced on his dead body.
Yeah.
Quite literally. In saying that, it's a different ball game entirely, having a misfortune against the Zed.
Yeah.
Road's not going to be the Thresh. Was available. They opted out of it.
And now, everyone sort of resets their lanes. Blue buff passed over towards Athena. 5 going to clear out some of this vision, gets Void Shift popped, but he's able to get some pretty good damage. He actually has both Voidlings cleared.
Yeah, the double up does 2 health to the Voidling, so you can just tap it and then love tap it, and they are super dead. Always a good matchup into the Malzahar, assuming that the Voidlings don't actually gang up when you attack you quick enough.
With this, we now see bottom priority from Ben 4. He is rushing level 6 at his red buff right now. And World 6, he's got plenty of vision on this side of the map. He's got a ward on the Raptor camp as well. And now they see that Ben 4 is on this side of the map. He's still not level 6, but now they see him hopping over the wall and rushing towards it. But Icon is being pulled down along with World 6.
So they know that Icon's coming. They 100% know. Ben 4 gets 6 off Krugs, so there's a potential that ganking or even diving this bottom lane would be far too risky. But with everybody on OMG being closer to that level 6 point, we're just waiting on 5. Once he hits 6, Flash Mal's ultis, roaming around the map with his jungler. World 6 and 5 are completely unleashed onto the world. People will die.
Yeah, instead, they just sort of threaten and pose for it. As you can see, the dominance used by Xiyang. That's Chain of Corruption on the Smlz. Sonic Wave finds 5. He's still only level 5. And Ben4 gets a kill with a dragon kick to the face.
Yeah, he uses the ultimate, secures the kill. 5 had summoner spells up and available. He chooses not to use them though because he was very dead. And Smlz living is still a small victory for OMG. And OMG rotated bottom. They were the ones potentially looking for a play, maybe getting their eye in. And as they give blue buff over to Icon, they know where Ben4 is. But they assumed that he had to be somewhere else on the map. He'd done the red buff. Krugs were dead. He watched them kill Krugs.
Oh,
Icon.
No. Icon is about to get a kill. That's Exhaust and Ignite. Flash from Jinjao.
That's
He dodges
dodge.
the
Wow.
shurikens and will survive.
That was actually a sick dodge of the shurikens. The exhaust ran off. Icon had timed it fine. Didn't really use everything in his disposal. I thought he was going to go for Road. That would have been the free kill.
Yeah.
Didn't do it. Got greedy. And now he's made pay.
And suddenly the momentum slowing down just a little bit for that Zed. He's still very big and still very scary, but not getting that kill could have slowed him down just a touch. And yeah, it looks like it is a Rod of Ages start out of Athena. He's got a Blasting Wand and that Catalyst.
Yeah, it means that he's not going to go towards the Seeker's Arm Guard immediately, you'd have to imagine. But from the Rod of Ages, could be going towards some kind of Haunting Guys straight penetration build. Because he's got the Thunderlords, you have to imagine he may even just go towards supportive afterwards. This is his version of the Athenes.
Yeah.
Just with health instead of supporting someone else, because he needs to survive.
Now the Raptor camp being cleared out by Aimee. A little bit of a contest from World 6. He gets 2 of them with a Volatile Spiderling, but not enough to finish off the entire camp as Ben4 holds onto his Smite. And the bottom lane continues to trade back and forth. Slight stat advantage for Jinjao, as you're seeing he's opening up a CS advantage over Smlz. Bilgewater Cutlass and that recurve bow. But World 6 is down here. There's the arrow onto Jinjao. He's got nothing to keep him alive. Nether Grasp, no arrow or anything. He gets 5 so low. Ben4 flash, Sonic Wave. AmazingJ gets the cast execution. So it is 80 carry for support when it's all said and done. But both teleports are blown and the mid laners were brought down as well. Oh boy, that's a fat wall there, Icon.
I mean, it is a big wall. Ben4 flashing didn't necessarily need to when AmazingJ had the teleport, but either way, they get a return kill. Jinjao is the man who dies as Xiyang.
They were both outside of vision.
Yeah.
And yeah, Xiyang pulls the trigger a little bit too soon, and the rest of OMG are given away, just fighting over these wards.
Let it die,
World
Athena.
6 is on the other side. He might be caught out. If the cocoon lands, he could certainly die, and it looks like he just might flashes and still goes down. Deathmark is reset by Icon as Xiyang accidentally procs the dragon.
And why on earth is Athena going for the control ward in the tri-bush? Just go back to your mid lane. Just clear the wave, draw Zed back up, then go down. You know they're there. Like 100% just greedy. And then he stands still to clear the ward with no vision of an Elise, no vision of a Zed.
Sonic Wave lands onto the Mountain Dragon as OMG are set to finish it off. They've brought AmazingJ. That Sonic Wave, he gets into the pit, smites way too soon. It's picked up by World 6, and that's Ben4 dying.
Look at Jinjao.
Yeah, he's just free firing onto Smlz. That's one, but the Deathmark has been reset. There's no exhaust to keep him alive, and will just barely survive. The rest of OMG are at such low health. AmazingJ goes in, finds Icon, forces his flash over the wall. No way they get out of this with their lives, but so far they are. Piercing arrow misses. Icon trying to dive the minions here.
He's gonna go for the kills.
Execution, but AmazingJ gets gifted that over with the damage he dealt earlier.
He had to choose between giving AmazingJ the kill or trying to get a trade against Jinjao, but that's too risky. Road could have just stood in front and been the one to get the kill either way. So he chooses that the top laner gets it. The Gragas is huge. The AD carry is still big from Aimee. He's lucky to be alive, however, based off how that dragon fight transpired. And so now Aimee, definitely still signs of life within this team. Their mid laner just needs to get it together. Such a polarizing player right now. He's hard carrying, and the next minute he's feeding.
Yeah, and it really sort of speaks to the experience from these teams. When you look at a player like Ben4, game number 1 and 2, we saw such patient and intelligent play from him, but now here in game 3 and game 4, perhaps that mental fortitude suffering a little bit over the long day of games, As Road gets some harass onto 5. He's got bullet time, yeah.
Yeah, because Misfortune has ultimate, he can't actually, like 5 has to use his ulti on the closest target. He has no health to actually stay within this lane, or he would die to a single ultimate from either of them. If he ults Misfortune, Varus uses his chains, and now they know 100% that Ashe is alone. If they're tanking these minions, it's all a ruse. No chance, Ashe has to leave.
With Icon feigning towards that side of the map, however, he is able to make it back to his turret just fine. And World 6 is sitting just outside of vision as well. The arrow from downtown keeps on going.
Good idea, though. They were trying to catch him as he was wanting the Sonic Wave icon, clearing the control ward. So the arrow was actually in the right position. It was at the right time. But Ben4 thought better of it. The team decided that they did not want to actually commit to fighting a Zed without any vision of where the rest of the team was. So that means Ashe is now gone.
Oh, another grasp is up for 5. He gets the silence over the wall, but Road walks back to safety and keeps himself alive.
World 6, no flash. They couldn't connect the cocoon either way. And now we actually get to calm down a little bit once more, Dom.
It's so scary, though, when you look at the pick that OMG have got. Cocoon, Zed, Ashe Arrow, Nethergrasp. They have so much burst if they find someone out of position.
My god, I just realized they could totally make an Elise skin based off the Lion King. It'd be Timon or Pumbaa.
For Elise?
Yeah.
Why?
Kakuna Matata.
Oh my god. We're 4 hours in, Rusty. You gotta keep it together. You gotta keep it together.
I think it's genius. You're welcome to disagree.
That is priceless. You had a pretty good one earlier between Rock and a Hard Mage as, oh man, Chain of Corruption lands on the Smlz. They've almost got the burst, but he flashes back and survives.
That's the beauty of the chains, though, out of the Varus, is it stops the Malzahar from getting within range to use his ultimate. If 5 wants to have an impact in that trade, he actually has to flash ulti.
Like that. 5 immediately pops the arrow, looking for Road. Almost got the cooldown on Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but it's a little bit too soon. It's just now come up. Ben4 getting damage onto Icon. He's got Death Mark and goes back in. That's Exhaust to stall it out. He's still holding onto the Shuriken. It is going to hit, but the Death Mark does not do enough damage to kill Ben4.
And that's why Athena has the Exhaust in this lane at the moment to defuse the Zed.
Sonic Wave. No. Oh, man. And the arrow tags Athena. Cocoon follows up. It's all up to World 6. He's doing a lot. There goes a quick protection onto Athena. And another Sonic Wave lands.
Ben4's on with these Sonic Waves.
Yeah.
But between a Karma and Elise in, they can protect each other so well. As it stands, though, IMA outright winning on this bottom lane, and that's the biggest difference. When Athena finally recalls, Rod of Ages, he'll be happy. But for now, it's all this.
Yeah, keeping Icon locked down in that mid lane is allowing Jinjao and Road to continue harassing back and forth. They're going to take the first turret of the game, 2,000 gold ahead, and immediately follow it up with the second as AmazingJ converts. And Icon on Zed loses his turret.
And we mentioned this earlier in the game. The fight that happened at the Drake actually got AmazingJ ahead.
Yeah.
And because he's ahead now, 2-0-1, the second he leaves top lane, he's not going to lose against a Renekton. That's already a concern. If you're not losing lane to a Renekton, then your Renekton's had an unfortunate series of events that have happened. Now he can go towards mid lane. 2 turrets simultaneously, and classic IMA victories. Jinjao and Road win the 2v2.
Yeah. They've got Ben4 trying to follow it up with a kill of his own. 2 deaths on Athena, but he's making up for it by going for a tankier build. Here comes the collapse from OMG onto the bottom side of the jungle and look for any openings. And Road on top of a ward, clever enough to use the Make It Rain just to make sure he doesn't eat a cocoon to the face. Still has got to respect the 2 of them as here comes Icon, who's his target. Chains of Corruption onto 5. They turn onto that support. They don't have enough. They do have enough. Icon has found Road in the back. That's the support for support. Teleport gets Xiyang in. And AmazingJ is going to teleport to the turret. There's Athena from the far side, but Renekton is in the back. Xiyang is turned and is doing so much. Icon eats an auto attack and survives. The barrel doesn't go far enough. Jinjao makes it to his turret, and that is going to be a quick
There's nothing to save them here, though.
Athena lands the tether, has to respect the Ashe damage, but Piercing Arrow follows up. It's 2 for 1 in the extended engagement.
And Xiyang's well gone, so there's nothing to save them with no turret down in this bottom lane. Already taken in advance by IMA's 2v2, and that is why they're able to continue that chase. This doesn't just result in a reasonably equal trade at the end of the day. It also turns out with an Infernal Drake going over to them. The second Drake in this game, but the more important, arguably, for raw damage stats, their team fighting gets amplified.
Yeah, and now we're starting to see the match is getting a little bit bloody, a little bit messy in these trades. Both teams diving for a support, flashing forward to follow up with another kill. Very close match. You can see how important it is for AimazingJ to close this out, and OMG are holding on white knuckle grip. They will not give this up without a fight.
He's just going to randomly shadow in, I think, with a W.
And Smite, Cocoon misses. Ben 4 holds on to it, gets slowed, and a Shuriken escorts him on the way out, but that's AimazingJ stealing the red buff under the nose of OMG.
Yeah, Icon had time, but they just assumed the damage coming out of Ben 4 would not be that legitimate this early into the game. He's also gone for a Kindle Gem for himself, so stacking up the cooldown reduction sooner rather than later instead of getting resistances of any kind just yet. I like it.
Tank Ben 4, perhaps going back towards that more intelligent style we harken back to in game number 1 and 2. The maturity of the player starting to show.
This is the 4th time in the playoffs alone that AimazingJ have gotten the first blood turret in their bottom lane 2v2. That immediately translates towards the opposite sides of the map, and that is how AimazingJ have usually won games of League of Legends.
Ben 4 shows up.
He is good.
Wow, how did he hit that? Did Icon walk through it?
Nah, he just hit the end of the shadow.
That is amazing. Top tier 1 now also goes down. AimazingJ continue to press. And look at Ben 4's placement. They're continuing to push forward. Xiyang is going to try to answer. He does have his Dominus.
This is just a turret trade you'll see from both of them. Elise, very good at taking down turrets as well, but there's 4 people here committed to taking the turret down top lane.
Recall is cancelled. Are AimazingJ going to keep going?
They definitely have 2 AD carries on the roster at the moment. This is banking on Karma being able to wave clear.
Yeah, here comes the collapse. There's a cast onto Xiyang. They have to kill him before Icon shows up. He gets in and clears out the minions. Ben 4 is so deep for the kill. And that's the inhibitor going down for OMG. What is this base race that's going on?
Everyone's just gone from 0 to 100 committing, and OMG win because they have 2 people defending.
Athena's trying to hold on, but immediately the dive, once their job is done with the inhib, before even, they turn on to the dessert afterwards, and OMG just pushed down 3 turrets and an inhibitor in a row, then picked up a kill. All right, there goes that.
That's just so tragic for AimazingJ. They set themselves up. They're so close to making the right decision. And then it just goes so horribly wrong. 20 minutes into the game, the perfect inhibitor goes down to pressure the Baron buff. They now look towards the next lane. This trio, the pick trio out of OMG, didn't even need to make a pick because they excel at taking down structures. AimazingJ, no idea what they were thinking. Why did they not recall? Why did the Gragas not go back to base?
They tried to match the pace and got severely punished for it. AmazingJ is now going to hold bottom. Luckily, that is pushing in towards him, so he will have some time to catch some golden experience, but this is a huge window for OMG to get back into the game. With Smlz and Jinjao mid, you expect them to just trade this CS back and forth. But OMG won't stop there. They will look for more objectives.
And the thing that hurts the most for AimazingJ is that they don't actually need to... OMG don't need to send anybody bottom. It will already push by itself just because of the super minions down there. And if they do send somebody, it doesn't even necessarily need to be Xiyang anymore. It can just be one wave clear from somebody after it's pushed, then just go back towards the Baron. Like, they can keep Icon around is the most important part of this. Team fighting gets a little bit better.
See Athena trading with Xiyang up here. He's finished his own Athena's Unholy Grail second. Still no Seekers as he is going entirely for team fight. He's going entirely for damage. And AmazingJ goes for a late recall sitting on that teleport. There's a ward super, super deep that he can teleport to, but probably not going to want that one.
Oh, he went for Athena's after having a lot of ages as well.
Yeah.
Trying to be supportive.
Still pressing in mid, wave after wave. Jinjao is catching them. The arrow fired from the black. Misses, but only just.
Still has QSS, is what that means. And with no Ashe being able to ultimate, the Malzahar ulti is the only thing he really does need to QSS for now. So AimazingJ find themselves potentially with a chance to fight. Remember, AmazingJ's big.
Ooh, great job from AmazingJ to force the flash. Don't know if he needed the cask afterwards, but the top tier 1 has finally been dropped. Ben 4 tries to get in, flash, body slam, gets Icon to about half health. Yes, they've won the fight. Athena's now trading with World 6 with an early exhaust. Repelled to get himself away, but they're continuing to chase. Super minions are streaming in from the bottom. Flash slow, and then the bullet time. They're trying to finish off the jungler here. AmazingJ eats the cast. They're going to burst through the tank. Exhaust denies the damage. He should be able to survive the death mark. They managed to finish off World 6. Meanwhile, minions are about to get into the base. AmazingJ finally gets that one. That's 2 members of OMG dead. Aimee, do they Baron?
The timing is really good for Aimee if they can get back and defend their actual base that is now completely bare. With that many super minions pushing in, OMG still trade the turret. They still have the minions threatening bottom. So this basically just means that they get kills for nothing if you're Aimee. They'll be happy with the kills. They're still at a gold advantage. That's the craziest thing about this game right now. How can you have a gold advantage and no inhibitor at 20 minutes?
Yeah, down a turret, down an inhibitor. Athena is taking so much damage from these supers. AmazingJ has to be the one to answer this, or at least get some minions in front. 3 super minions are working their way down, battering their way into the base. And AmazingJ still pushing top. He's gone for Iceborne Gauntlet, so a much more damaging build this time around. See Xiyang is starting to come online with 2 items of his own, and really we're seeing some big spikes all across the board.
But still, all of those kills, all of this time, really just means time that OMG can't threaten the Baron, can't take a Drake, can't do anything. They just have to sit back and farm again. This is giving them just windows to let the inhibitor come back up in the bottom lane, and once that is respawned, then Aimee can look to properly strike.
A red buff being passed over towards Jinjao as he makes his way over. You can see Cloud Drake is on the map as well. A single ward from Aimee is the only one, and Ben4 looks like he's going to finish that off real quick as he's popped over the wall. Nice vision set up as blue buff gets gifted over to Athena. No!
Oh, the auto attack.
That was close. The Spiderling very nearly stealing it. Ben4 is even going to pop a control ward down to make sure that he's safe. Meanwhile, the rest of OMG have got Mountain Dragon. They are turning it down. Oh, Icon dropping the Yomus to zone away the rest of Aimee. That's going to be spotted out by the blue trinket of Jinjao. Redemption to top themselves up. Road is making his way in. The arrow has tagged the support. Xiyang is waiting behind the wings. He throws an early Dominus, but Baron has been finished. Road is doing what he can, but he's already going down. They've managed to trade 2 for 2, however, and AmazingJ's in the back. Smlz gets popped, and now they're turning this fight around as Jinjao is already dead. 4 members of OMG are dead.
Ben4 is just a god. This guy does not miss. Icon absolutely dismantled and ruins Jinjao's life. But the Varus ultimate was on. It connects to the targets around him, and Aimee literally watch OMG do Baron and then still win a team fight. Every single time, Aimee are just team fighting better, but the map is being won by OMG.
They're going to take another turret and continue to open this gold advantage. Icon is going to look on in envy as that is dropped down. And now with the respawn of Jinjao, he's going to be able to defend his freshly respawned inhibitor bottom. That relieves a significant amount of pressure on the map for Aimee. And like you said, they keep winning fights. This is set point. OMG cannot afford to lose this.
Okay, so 5 gets knocked up by the Baron. Immediately the Varus ultimate connects to World 6. That then locks him down. Meanwhile, AmazingJ comes in. Ben4 hits the target. This trade is legitimately what 2 AD carries as your bottom lane can do. The amount of damage that they output even before dying, that's the kind of thing that should not happen if you're OMG. You should be able to stop that from happening. But because 5 gets knocked up by the Baron as it dies, like, completely tragic. He just needs to dodge that next time and he'll be fine.
Flash Sonic Wave, Ben4, no way! Oh, he eats an arrow to the side and the suppression, but they immediately open fire. Icon follows through with the kill, turns onto Jinjao. He flashes back, tries to cleanse, but it will die to the burn. And Icon is winning this fight, takes it right on back, says, you win a fight, I win a fight. Athena's trying to kite it out, and AmazingJ is almost popping off, but does not have enough. Now it's Athena, 1 versus 3. Icon is dead, so there's no Baron for OMG, but they've got a minion wave rushing down mid.
Welcome back, that was chaos. Ben4 had flash, didn't actually get it off because of Malzahar's flash. Tragic. You would have to imagine that Karma has the ability to defend all of these structures except this one from going down. They won't be able to further crack the base of Aimee. The death timers are too low. We are legitimately at 27 minutes into this game. and it is 14-12 in kills. In Game 4 in the quarterfinals, like, what is this madness?
Absolute chaos trying to break this open. Seems Aimee are forcing the fights with a huge turnaround on the Ben 4.
The thing is, Ben 4 flashes to close the distance. I'm guessing he didn't have W up. If he used a ward hop and then flash kick, he'd still be able to connect on the 5, perhaps.
Yeah.
It's just, like, unfortunately for Aimee, that's not how you're meant to engage. And at the exact same time, AmazingJ is trying very hard to carry his team. He is a big Gragas, but he's big because he has armor. He died to magic damage.
And you saw that he flashed at the end of his death cocoon. Oh! Just skirted the back of Athena's backside right there.
Yeah, it's actually
Grazed
Five's mistake, though.
Yeah.
You can't show yourself and put down 2 Voidlings in anticipation of ult if you need to hit the cocoon first.
Exactly. Now we get to the 29-minute mark, and there are 26 kills in the game. 500 gold separating the 2 teams. Very close. Huge minion wave bottom from Icon, and he is on the prowl.
You know, the craziest thing about this game, Dom, is that this many kills in a game is OMG's ballpark. They want to be here.
No. Jinjao, now he sees the Zed, and immediately Icon rushes in. Deathmark is dropped. There's nothing to keep Jinjao safe. He actually gets the Chain of Corruption flash as the Deathmark is still being held onto. There's Yomu's, but that's a lot blown by Icon. He's got low energy. He does have Deathmark, but the Sonic Wave again from Ben.
It's actually a skill shot. It's like you're not meant to hit all of them.
They're trying to collapse on the rest of OMG on the way out, however, but AmazingJ is trying to lock them against the wall. Smlz is there with the arrow ready, but they don't have an AD carry versus OMG without a mid laner. There's nothing to fight for here, guys. There's no dragon.
On the contrary, Road is an AD carry. That's the counter to Zed.
2 AD carries.
You can only blow up one of them. But still, that's a, I guess, for what it's worth, Icon was just hunting, and he found the target that he wanted. That is something that a Zed will always do to the ends of the earth. He will travel to find the AD carry and kill that AD carry. No hope against Karma. It's Road and Jinjao that he needs to find.
And you can see now an Ardent Sensor finished for Athena, so he is going purely for his team. Temporary detour to make sure that he himself scaled. But now, it's all up to Jinjao Road.
And actually getting some ability power now, so Athena's in a better position.
There he goes. Arrow misses Jinjao.
I mean, he had QSS anyway.
Yeah, and Athena.
How much do you want? Like, you wanted the red buff with it, I guess?
I mean, he had 5 just on the other side of that red buff. Maybe he could have tried to get past the Raptors for another Grass follow-up.
That's adventurous.
Yeah. I mean, he's looking for it. Again, 30 minutes in, 2 minutes until Baron is back up, 30 seconds before that Cloud Dragon is up as well, and the game has reset. IMA pushed and OMG pushed. IMA win a fight and OMG win a fight. Just gotta get the Spiderlings to actually attack.
They did. They just reset very quickly because he was recalling. We're still at an even goal point as well. It's the craziest part of this. The next fight shouldn't be over a Cloud Drake, but knowing these teams from what we've seen in this game,
it's going to be over Scuttle.
It's going to be over a Cloud Drake.
Yeah.
We'll find a way to do it. Actually, though, Xiyang is trying to trade. Doesn't have teleport just yet. He's going to be pushing the top lane turret. Best case scenario for OMG is that they push 2 turrets at once and force IMA into an awkward position.
Yeah.
We have to recall, not rotate.
AmazingJ is trying to answer Xiyang as he heads towards the top with a quick recall, but already that Black Cleaver is burning through. Meanwhile, the rest of OMG duck into the river. They might try to collapse on AmazingJ if he overextends. He's continuing to chase forward and does not see OMG, but he sticks to his turret and
now
keeps it safe.
Just go straight up mid lane instead. OMG were trying to push it, knowing that IMA were going to get the dragon. So by going towards top lane, rotating from mid to top lane, they're okay. But now the recalls are forced out by their opponents this time. I may have the inside track. They don't necessarily need to do the Baron. There's a blue buff to steal. They can just set up vision and maybe control the area. But as it stands, no wards to do so because they actually set up at the dragon.
And with that, they take blue buff. You've got bottom lane pushing out for you. Somebody's going to have to reset top for IMA as they start trying to get vision back over that Baron. It's up in 10 seconds. And with the next dragon being an Elder, we're getting back towards that late game stage here. We already saw how fatigued the players were after game number 3. Perhaps that could be why we're seeing these reckless fights.
I think the reckless nature comes back to, again, the last game. When you really highlight how OMG won, it's by causing chaos and just beating them in that chaos.
How did he hit that? Goes right into a cocoon, though. Full tank Lee Sin does not take the damage, and he doesn't fade out the death mark either.
Yeah, he's going to be perfectly fine. This time, thankfully, there's a Malzahar in the game. That will kill you, Elise. All the burn, health damage, and the fact that they're stacking armor means that World 6 is a super crucial member for this game. 5, unfortunately, doesn't have the resistances that he would like. I feel like that's the first 2 I've seen miss from Ben 4 as well.
Yeah. Xiyang is splitting bottom, though, and now AmazingJ has to go and keep up. Renekton continues to set the pace in this split push and is now making his way back towards the rest of his team. If a skirmish were to break out and he could burn AmazingJ's teleport, they just reset and do it again. Now, World 6.
Yeah, but he's he's not teleporting, he's rotating up already. So we're at an equal 5v5 footing. There's nothing to do in the bottom lane.
Oh, man. Stepping just under the enchanted crystal arrow.
saying that, Aimee may want to fight now that they know that it's not available. This is a really good spot for them. Baron should be forced. Top wave's pushing, bottom wave's pushing. They have control, all of the vision is there. They have a Blade of the Ruined King user. And AmazingJ will never die if he has a team supporting him.
Yeah, only his Merc Treads and Negatron Cloak for magic resist because, as you said, he is stacking armor to deal with OMG.
And Icon should never hit him either, so that's the thing.
Yeah.
He just shouldn't die.
Aimee are now grouping up around that Baron. Smlz is holding the mid minion wave. They're making sure this is all clear, but now they're rushing for a fight. Flash from World 6 as they get chased forward, just sweeping out this vision even more. So now they know World 6 doesn't have Flash.
Even further control. They have the red buff jungle now secured by Aimee. They want to fight. They don't just want to do the Baron. It's a needless risk to take the objective, but if they can force OMG out of their own jungle, then there's nothing to stop them from doing the Baron. Very simple to execute on here from Aimee once they have the vision down, and they actually managed to get it down extremely successfully. Yeah,
AmazingJ is actually completing a recall right now. He heads back to base as Ben 4 smites his Direwolf camp. So this is now 3 members of Aimee without support. OMG see this. Smlz gets arrow on cooldown. They could turn and fight back for this vision. AmazingJ is trying to get back to his team. Just running down mid lane. Finally groups up. And Chain of Corruption, they've caught out World 6. The arrow finds AmazingJ, and that's Zhonya's to stall it out. Icon gets in with the Shadow. He's going to pop in, look for the assassination. He's on the back. Jinjao cleanses, but that's more than enough damage. Jinjao dies. Meanwhile, the fight is traded 2 for 2. It's 3 versus 3, but they pop the Xiyang on Xiyang. That's going to be 2 versus 3 if they kill Xiyang.
They can't get in, so Xiyang has to die here. And he will. All right. Road is still an AD carry. This is the biggest thing that we have to touch on every single time. Zed and Renekton, all used to take out Jinjao, and he plays that team fight out so well that he survives long enough that Icon's going to die and that Xiyang gets GA'd. Road is still hitting people. He's got a Last Whisper and a Black Cleaver, and he is absolutely doing enough work now in the support role that I would consider him that AD carry. Not for structure taking, to be fair, but Aimee, with their top laner, who does not die, are set.
They're actually forcing the flash out of Smlz. He's free-firing onto AmazingJ, but only gets him down to half with a turret attacking him. That full armor stacking and a Guardian Angel 4th means he is enormous. And with the rest of his team just behind him, they break the base of OMG. They've still got a minion wave pushing bottom. Now they can just reset and head back to the Baron to do it all over again.
And that's the thing. If they actually decided, you know, the team fight didn't happen, they were going to set up for the Baron, that was the minion wave that takes turrets. That's the minion wave that could give you the game after the Baron is actually secured and the team fight happens. Right now, Aimee, they're playing the much more cerebral version of a fighting game. Still a fighting game. They're using their brains in it.
Yeah. And now they're setting up vision around that Baron for this. Game number 4. They find themselves even in gold with OMG, but winning fights back-to-back, reclaiming vision time and time again, and outplaying OMG in these extended engages. They just need to finish this game here to advance to the semifinals. And with a 2-1 lead, they can't afford to lose, but you know they don't want to.
And the last remaining problem that Aimee had is now eradicated. A QSS under Ben 4 is now the engage trigger. That's the one thing that they were really lacking. It's a Varus getting in kill range to throw out his ultimate that'll go down. A follow-up onto maybe burst from Karma, but that's also a dangerous position. He's empowering the team. Ben 4 is the biggest deal right now.
They're playing around the Baron right now. World 6 is there, doesn't have his smite, but he's in spider form, trying to take the long way around. AmazingJ drops the cast to Zonomoy. Arrow onto Athena, but Baron is picked up. They are taking so much time to kill AmazingJ, and that's going to be a reset fight. Road is going to be suppressed, but they've killed 5. Icon's in onto Jinjao. That's both of the AD carries. If he can kill Jinjao, he's healing up. Finally dies as the death mark pops, and AmazingJ falls down. Athena is running for the hills, and this is AmazingJ turning around to slow it away. They've got Baron on 2, but they have lost the fight.
Super crucial if AmazingJ actually manages to live here, that he gets back to base, defends the push. Karma is the wave clear, and AmazingJ is the tankiness. So they get the Baron, and they manage to get out with at least 2 members alive, but OMG have got the Elder Dragon to look towards. Unfortunately, by doing this, it'll take so long that Aimee will be alive again, but now we've got a buff versus buff.
They are starting this off right now. AmazingJ is spotted. You can see the retreat pings. Even his team thinks it's a terrible idea, and he decides not to go for the dive. Elder Dragon picked up by OMG. Baron buff for Team Aimee.
We get to see this fight again. Remember, World 6 gets zoned away early by AmazingJ's ultimate on the Gragas. Road actually cancels his ultimate by flashing, using his R, then using his E. So immediately cancels it. It's just blown to pieces by a flash Malzahar ulti and all of the damage. Jinjao is trying his absolute hardest to survive. Athena is using the shields on him, and he's still dying to the damage coming out of Zed and Xiyang, the Bash brothers right now.
So we've got 1 minute and 45 left on that True Elder Dragon buff, and 2 minutes on the Baron. The top minion wave is cleared out, and though Aimee have got the minion advantage, they're setting up their side waves. They're trying to play this properly. Icon level 18, full build, 39 minutes in. He more than stood up for himself in that last fight. If he can find an assassination on the Jinjao and Road, then they'll get another fight like the one they just took.
Yeah, and now there are no Guardian Angels for the top laners as well, so these tanks are very susceptible to dying. Aimee with the Baron, losing out on the combat stats that the Elder Dragon gives, have to play a little bit more cautiously, work around the minion waves, and actually try and pull OMG around the map to get an advantage. They can't just straight 5v5 against the team comp of OMG with an Elder.
And this is what we see, bringing up the Baroned up minions. Cocoon misses, they're slowly working it down. Icon's waiting for that flank, but the tier 2 has already fallen. Looking for someone to fall apart for Aimee to lose themselves, but they managed to hold it together and break down the final tier 2.
Breaking down that turret handy, gives them a bit of extra gold. The Baron power play not going too well for them ultimately. You can see that in the top right of your screen. OMG content with just having the Elder Dragon buff. They don't necessarily need to team fight. It's really hard to team fight against the Baron team that just plays the slow game around the minions. But it means that the Baron buff effectively grants them nothing.
Yeah, 1 turret and a net 1,500 gold. Negative 1,500 gold. They've still got it for about 30 seconds, though Elder Dragon is wearing off in about 20. So this window of opportunity for Aimee has been denied by a very good team fight from OMG. Now you can see Aimee already eyes on the next big objective, sweeping out vision around that Baron, preparing that side of the map for the respawn. Xiyang is split pushing bottom, and AmazingJ, though enormous, is going to have a tough time dealing with that Renekton.
Knight's Vow as well. I wonder if AmazingJ selected Jinjao as the target. They do need to give as much armor to him as they possibly can. If he survives the Zed burst, then Aimee win the fight. If he dies, then OMG win. It's just that simple at the moment. Tanks will be tanks. Malzahar, Road, they're going to kill people. It's about how many they kill as well.
And OMG are going to pick on the shot caller of AmazingJ right now. They've brought 4 people down here.
Aimee are aware they're recalling.
Yeah, they are all making their way back.
5 people are missing. Where are they going to be? There's no Baron, no Elder Dragon, process of elimination.
The rest of the team is all grouped up. Yeah. They sit back and play it defensive, responding appropriately to the darkness from OMG. They're still now just barely being spotted, though they are now walking through all of the vision on this side of the map.
Also classic Aimee, you can see 3 wards, 1 just died, in deep pockets of OMG's map. If anything goes wrong for OMG, suddenly there's a teleport flank that you never thought existed. And that is the Aimee special, so you have to keep your eyes peeled for things like that.
The 1-2 goodnight. As Jinjao clears out the rest of that wave and the rest of his team. 42 minutes into the game. We're reaching full build for most of these champions. It's barely 1,000 gold lead for Aimee, as both teams have managed to break the base, but neither team has been able to close it out. Aimee are now rushing forward. They see that World 6 is up top and Xiyang is bottom.
Yeah,
they might just try to rush it down.
World 6 needed to be here immediately. Not a teleporting member of the team, not a split pushing member of the team. Opportunistic move from OMG. They are trying their best though.
Arrow onto AmazingJ. Icon and 5 are looking for a flank. World 6 finally collapses. They get half health on the inhibitor, then just reset with the minion wave. Now they see all 5 members of OMG.
Resetting here is risky. OMG may not have an Ashe arrow, but they can still team fight.
Cocoon finds Jinjao. He cleanses too soon. Nethergrass means Icon can get into him. A huge mistake. AmazingJ is being burned down, but Road is firing in the back. That's Deathmark from Icon. Exhaust is going to be more than enough. Athena is shielded, and Icon cleans it up. Aimee lose the fight again.
Every single time, but this was a cocoon out of World 6 that you did not expect to connect. 5 hitting the flash Malzahar ulti.
Whoa, Road tries to go for a super greedy recall. Even he's having a tough time killing that Zed with the Guardian Angel. Slows himself down, still getting some damage. Pops the GA. Meanwhile, AmazingJ is trading with the rest of them. That's going to be World 6 making his way over, gets the slam, but it's not enough. One survivor, Road, has got to hold the base. One man, the myth, the legend. 20 seconds to go.
15 seconds on Jinjao, 25 seconds on Athena, and 15 now on Ben 4. Road may be able to hold this just from the health values of 5 and Icon.
He doesn't have his ultimate just yet, but they're turning onto the Nexus turrets. OMG win a fight. The minion wave is cleared out. Jinjao is there. The arrow has tagged him. He's got no cleanse,
just in trouble.
But Smlz is on the Nexus. It breaks, and ladies and gentlemen, we are going to a Game 5.
OMG bouncing back. Emphatic victory. And it was not clean. It was anything but clean for both of these teams. We descended into madness in game number 4. But you know who thrives in the chaos? Always OMG.
Yeah, they are coming up huge with this. Finally able to answer back. Even so, it's off of IMA's mistakes. They are still getting laning advantages. They are still opening up with the intelligent mid-game plays and trades. But look at how volatile that game was.
The worst part about it as well, IMA, with the lead they had at 16 minutes, you can see the biggest spike there. Only 3.8 thousand.
Yeah.
Never stretch past that point, because suddenly when they have the leads, they have the inside track, they make a mistake. Or they take a team fight, or they get picked off somewhere. The Zed was a big deal. Absolutely. Team fought like a god for a champion that usually doesn't team fight that well. Managed to top damage. And Road tried his absolute little heart out.
Oh, yeah. Huge performance from Road in that game. But it's just not enough to keep up with IMA. Here's that fight once again. It's all about the Cocoon and an early cleanse from Jinjao.
Yeah, watch this Cocoon. That kind of silly. QSS and then flash ulti from 5. The timing on that was impeccable. Look at Road's damage, though. He almost won that fight pretty much by himself. So close.
Yeah.
Athena almost survived as well. It's just crazy that a fight can happen like this. IMA have decided they want to siege the inhibitor. They make the executive call, you know? We saw the Elise top lane, so we're now going to siege the mid inhibitor.
Yeah.
And Elise shows up. They don't get the inhibitor. And IMA's decision is, well, we're here.
Yeah.
We may as well try and see what happens the second time with the Elise, and then Elise kills them.
Yeah, a huge, huge Cocoon from World 6, effectively winning the game for them, and it was so very close for IMA closing out this set. They won game 1. They won game number 2, but they were winning game number 3, and then they lost. They were winning game number 4, and then they lost. Going into game number 5, you've really got to be concerned because now OMG have got all of the momentum. Sure, they still look reckless in their fights, but they are winning them.
Yeah, OMG, you wouldn't feel great getting both of those victories. You'll feel happy that you got them.
Relief.
Definitely more relief than anything else. It's still a very stressful scenario to put yourself in, but definitely the way that these games have panned out, IMA were the ones that feel bad about it. Coming into game 3, winning, and then losing the game, and then coming to game 4, having the gold lead, and then losing the game hurts your mentality. It definitely affects you, and that why can we not close these games out? Like, why is OMG so chaotic, and why are we fighting them instead of just playing the smart game? The one time in game number 4 that IMA played it smart, they played the minions out, they looked for the objectives, they got the Drake, went over to the Baron or tried to siege it. Suddenly, they're winning the game again. But then, lo and behold, OMG find this fight and just kill them again, just wipe them every single time.
Yeah, and it's really got to be tough. We have to look towards the determination for IMA to pull it back. We know they're a hardworking team, but we call them that by name so many times. Here is the reaction of Icon as he wins that fight.
Oh, what a bad boy.
Yeah. Huge cheer.
That was a monster. That Zed is an absolute beast. And that is something that actually looking at it, I was surprised he picked. We mentioned that during the drafting phase, the Ahri made a lot more sense with the Renekton top lane. Like, you didn't need to compensate physical damage. But with a performance like that, I can understand him picking the Zed.
Yeah. huge showing over the course of that laning phase. There were so many times where he would be denied the kills, but every single fight he found the assassination onto Jinjao. The poor guy just didn't get a chance to keep himself safe from that Zed.
Yeah.
And again, we have to look at the mental determination for IMA. They're the team, the little team that could. Well, in order to turn themselves into the team that actually did, they need to close out this series. The person who actually saw success here was Icon, again getting the MVP here in game number 4. Both of OMG's wins.
Well deserving, honestly, to Icon. But I think World 6 as well, someone that we have to highlight, didn't have the best early game, was actually mapped a little bit by his opponent in Ben 4, but came back into the mid game extremely well, managed to find these team fights, and honestly picks onto the priority targets that win the game in the end. But this fight right here, this is the Icon and Xiyang show, and it all starts with Road actually getting caught out of position. We mentioned it during the game, the animation cancelling that he did was tragic. Jinjao just gets popped, and the awareness from Xiyang and Icon to go for the right targets, pick up a triple kill, but at the same time, do the whole badass, I'm not going to look at you while you're going to die, pop, and actually go and damage other people at the exact same time is what separates the good Zeds from the greats.
Well, yeah, Icon certainly making a name for himself now. It seems like he has figured Athena out in that mid lane. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to game number 5, the ace match between OMG and IMA. We'll be right back.